It seems that from my childhood I had a great desire to help those suffering, especially those whose souls are in pain. Grand Duchess Elizabeth. Our earthly ways are bitter, and yet there is no way better than the one leading your heart to heaven's gate. 20 years later. We magnify you, O holy martyrs Elizabeth and Barbara, and we honor your sufferings, which you endured for Christ. Everything began when I read the hagiography of St Elisabeth, which seemed to be a coincidence, but it wasn't. I was very inspired by her life and her inner beauty. I felt a strong desire to visit a place that would have some connection to St. Elizabeth's life. To learn that such place exists in my city was a great surprise already. I was even more surprised when I found out that this place is a convent built in St. Elizabeth's name. I knew that I needed to see it for myself. However, a whole year passed before I was able to come to the convent. Perhaps I needed that year to grow spiritually before I was finally ready for my introduction to St. Elizabeth. The convent is a beautiful place. The beauty that impressed me most is hidden from the eye. It is the sisters' inner beauty that creates the unique spirit of this place. I could sense Saint Elizabeth in this spirit, even if I didn't know that the convent was in her name.
Сейчас сложнее.
It is harder now.
С опытом.
At the same time, the experience that we gain changes us.
Ты меняешься сам.
Everything depends on you, after all.
Пришла очень давно.
I joined the sisterhood about 8 years ago. At that time, I sang in a choir while studying in linguistic university. The sisters were looking for choristers who could sing in English. This is how I learned about the convent and participated in a choir project recording a CD. I was very inspired and took up an obedience in the sisterhood. I was very proud when I received the sister's vestment. It was a hot summer when I found out that I was supposed to wear it with long sleeve. This is when I started hesitating. Perhaps it is not my thing after all. I found this ad in classifieds among hundreds of other vacancies. It said that a convent was looking for people with foreign languages. This must be something faith-oriented, I thought. I might as well give it a try. All the time I see God raising up children to Abraham of these stones. In time they turn back into stones, but then new children appear. Because this is God's unending and inconceivable love. In a year or so, I left. Father Andrei says that it was devil's work. I did not come back here for about 5 years and stopped going to church.
я поняла, что у меня была хорошая работа, очень
I
большая
had a
зарплата,
highly
я
paid
там
job
всё,
that
что хотела,
opened
там
doors to
платила,
traveling
ездила,
and
там
allowed me
летала,
to
всё.
enjoy many
И
things
просто
that I
поняла,
could
что так
afford.
жить невыносимо, и знала,
But
куда
at
я
some
могу
point,
прийти,
I realized that I
чтобы
could not
как-то
bear
изменить
it any
жизнь.
longer.
Пришла
I
сюда,
knew that
батюшка
I
снова
needed to
благословил
return to
носить
the convent
облачение,
and
ходить в
change my
интернат.
life.
И
And so
всё,
I
я
did.
пришла к мать
With
Марии и
Father
говорю:
Andrei's
"Снова
blessing,
хочу,
I was
хочу,
restored in the
возьмите меня".
sisterhood.
Во время оно сыди Иисус в
In
Иерусалим.
those days, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of weak folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Gospel of John, chapter 5.
И как-то год-два вообще не понимала, что к чему.
It took years
А
before
потом
things began to make
постепенно
sense. But slowly
даже
everything
отношение к
changes.
облачению меняется.
The way you treat your vestment,
Вообще
your
к
words,
своим
your
словам,
actions,
действиям, ко
everything.
всему.
Ведь сестра это же, понимаете,
Putting
одеть
on a
облачение, это
vestment does
значит
not make you a sister.
сестра это действительно это
The real
внутреннее
vestment
облачение.
is inside. Caress this world, dear son. Comfort my soul. I might grow up one day to rise to the sky on strong wings. Blue sky is full of mystery. I will whisper farewell to every creature. From there I will pour my love onto the whole world, like a white cloud.
Мы почти каждый день приходили рано
We come to the
утром,
boarding
около
home
7
for
часов в
children with
интернат,
mental and
брали
physical
группу детей.
disabilities about 7 a.m. almost every morning. We take a group of children and go to liturgy at the convent. The children take communion, eat at the convent refectory, and then we return to the boarding home. We have been doing this for 19 years, since the year 2000. This ministry became an important part of our lives.
То есть у тебя нету какой-то жалости к этим детям, а просто Господь дает любовь.
God gives us love for these children, not because we pity them.
Видя их радость, их отношение к жизни,
The joys that
их
they
отношение
receive
к
us
тебе,
with and their life attitude give us strength
просто
and
поддержка,
inspiration.
идти дальше и радоваться, то, что и быть искренним, то, что, наверное, мы утрачиваем.
These children teach us the sincerity that we often lack. We learn to look for genuine things in life.
Действительно ценно.
Mother of God and Virgin, rejoice, Mary full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, for thou hast given birth to the Saviour of our souls. None of what we have today was ever planned. I personally never set any goals. I had no intention to become a priest or any vision of the convent as we see it today. All of this was beyond me. I feel that I am not here by chance. God guided me here, and other sisters as well. Many are called and few chosen. I feel that we are the ones who have been called. I believe that other sisters were also brought here by the same call. My grandparents do not believe in God. Neither does my grandpa. Maybe we should try and learn to live our lives so that one day our grandparents may look at us and believe. Unlike many other sisters, I was given obedience before I joined the sisterhood. It was a beautiful moment when I did. Mother Galina brought my newly made vestment to the Sunday school, and the children that I was teaching did the clothing ceremony.
Представляете, там, не знаю,
Imagine God opening all the fullness of life in church to you while you are living a big city life of a modern university student. And suddenly you, who may not have even taken communion before, discover an entirely new life and realize that this new life is supreme. This is a great miracle, possibly the greatest of all. It changes your life entirely. I often ask myself, if it were not for church, where would I be? What would my thoughts be like? What ground would my heart hold on to? Unlike many people, I came to church not through illness or someone's death. I just could not live a life of pleasure anymore. Escorting foreign delegations was one of my responsibilities working for an athletic association. I felt that I could take no more parties, clubs, restaurants, and other attributes of the high life. One day I came to Father Andrei to confess. I could not say a word and just stood there and cried. Somehow he knew what was wrong and set my mind at rest. "Thank God you came back," he said, although he couldn't have possibly remembered me. This is how the Lord changed everything in my life by touching it invisibly, although it looked like nothing happened. Eventually you reach a point where there is nowhere to go. You try here and there, but it is a stalemate. And still you have to go on living somehow, and God gives you the strength to jump. He arranges your life circumstances so that you have no choice other than stepping out of the usual vicious circle. Behold, two men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, "Why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spoke unto you while he was yet in Galilee, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again." Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 24. A Cathist hymn to St Elisabeth, the new martyr. There are times of weariness when you lose all your inspiration. You get used to the beauty all around you and stop noticing it. You look at people admiring it and wonder what is wrong with them. It makes no difference what slings and arrows we will have to go through as long as God is near. What is next? I think it is the eternal synergy of God and man. To be honest, I am far from idealizing sisters in white vestments as much as I did before. With time, I came to realize that we all go through different stages in life. Our moods and mindsets also change in time. I have my ups and downs. Unfortunately, I tend to forget that my occupation is church obedience, not just work. There are times when everything seems to be a dull and boring routine, but then I wake up again to realizing the beauty of being in a convent. And I thank God for giving me a chance to do something good in life. I believe that with time, this ministry does make you different.
по-другому
Obedience of a white sister
смотреть на
changes the
трудности,
way you look at the afflictions and the trials of life.
наверное.
Definitely.
Если человек несет ответственность,
Everybody complains sometimes, but there are people among us who resist despondency and treat their obedience responsibly. I think that it would be fair to say that many sisters are approaching holiness. Seriously, those who take their cross and carry it. But they have to bear many, many sorrows. Sick children, drunk husbands, broken families, personal illnesses. In spite of it all, every day these sisters find the strength to fulfill their obedience and serve God. This polishes their souls like nothing else. What is our convent going to be like in the future? I keep asking myself this. As we are standing at its origins, I hope that the convent does have a future. I think that in many ways our community will remain unconventional. We are breaking stereotypes already, including our own. But we live so sincerely here, as one soul. I have never seen anything like this anywhere else. Many of the sisters have made it to the heavenly kingdom. I am 100% sure of this because I have witnessed their departure from this world. It is the end that matters most. I have seen people overcome deadly pain and suffering while they were leaving this world with faith and hope. I have no doubt that there was God's presence in them and that they carried their cross to the very end. Is that it? Thank you. Is that it? Thank you.